But I need people to understand something about Final Fantasy 14. Okay. Um, if you guys, I don't know how many you play in the chat, but I've been playing since all the way back in the original game. I was there when they shut the shit down. I was there when Bahamut destroyed the world, supposedly, even though we found out that wasn't the case. I was there for all that shit. I saw the final cutscene. I saw the countdown. I saw all that stuff. I was there for all of that. All right. Um, Final Fantasy 14 has always been a game where the main player, obviously the player character, has been the focus of the story, right? Because they were building over 10 years. It's kind of like the MCU, right? The MCU built all the way up to Endgame. Final Fantasy built all the way up to their own version of the Endgame. It was literally called Endwalker. Okay. Somebody said, "Wow, I'm a nerd." Yeah, that's kind of the point. So they were doing their own thing, right? And the player character was the main focus. In Endwalker, Endwalker ended the story to the point of the main character being the main focus, at least for right now, right? At least for right now. And you also got to understand, man, Dawntrail is going to be the starting point for another 10 years. That's their plan anyway. Right. That's their idea. So it's not gonna be this crazy epic like you guys like people who leave bad reviews about, oh, we're not the main focus of the story anymore. And we're gonna get into it. I'm just venting a little bit. People who leave reviews like that are fucking ridiculous to me because it's like, all right, the world can't be ending every single patch, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like the world can't be ending every expansion. Like we can't constantly be doing this thing where we're just like, oh, the world is ending. Time for the warrior light to go save it. The world's ending. Time for the warrior light. Like you're gonna have to at some point have a couple of more side stories a little bit in order for it to kind of make sense, in my opinion. But listen, the stories were awesome. It was a lot of fun, and I had a great time all the way up to Endwalker. Now, I do get people's complaints though, because it seems like the focus is a little bit too much on this character, right? And that there is such a thing, right? There's such a thing as that. This particular character, God knows I cannot pronounce their name, Wuk Lamat. I don't know, some shit like that. She's a female Rockthar. I don't even know how to say the race of the people. But apparently, according to this article from The Gamer, Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail drops to mixed reviews on Steam. And one of the reasons why is simply because of transphobia, ladies and gentlemen. And that's where this main story is, right? So this particular character has been said to be a female character in the game, to my understanding. Nobody ever said they were trans. Nobody said they were a guy. It's been a female character since the start, to my understanding. Now, this character is actually voiced by a trans actor. Okay. This character is voiced by a trans actor. Now, just because the voice actor is trans doesn't mean that the character itself is trans. Okay. Could they be in the future? Maybe. But this particular cat, I mean, look, it's a fucking creature, my guy. Like it is a big hulking creature. It's the female version of a Hawkthrower. Like this thing is meant to be a little bit muscular. But I can see people getting concerned that ideology will be getting pushed into this, considering that they found out now it's a trans actor. Now, listen, guys, I've said this before. Some of you might not like it, but just because a trans person is doing voice actor work doesn't necessarily mean the thing is woke. Okay. It's just the truth. It doesn't mean it's woke. Trans people are allowed to have jobs too. All right. But I get the concern. I totally get the concern, especially when you have people like the gamer coming out here and try to spin it into something about transphobia. And that's what we're going to talk about. Final Fantasy 14 Dawntrail is now out early access, but has dropped to mixed reviews on Steam. Many are unhappy with Wuk Lamat taking center stage and pushing the player into the backseat. However, a lot of the discussion around Lamont focuses on the English actor, a trans woman, often misgendering him and even encouraging others to change localization just to avoid him. Now, this particular part right here, I can't agree with because somebody said woke Lamont. I'm gonna start using that Wuk Lamat when I'm playing. Damn it, man! When I'm playing the game now, all I'm gonna start thinking when I see the character is, "Oh, look, it's Wuk Lamat." Fucking you guys, man, you guys are something else. Okay, so Wuk Lamat. Uh, I don't, why was that so funny to me? I don't know. Anyway, okay, so this part I don't agree with. All right. And I don't agree with this because quite frankly, just because people are saying, hey, don't listen to the English voiceover, listen to the Japanese. These people they have to be tourists because they don't understand that this is a common practice, right? If any of you guys watch anime, what's the one thing most people would agree on when they watch anime, right? And that would be that the Japanese voiceover is a million times better than most of the English voiceovers. So most people who watch anime will either be told to, hey, maybe you should listen to the Japanese with subtitles on, um, or it's just like they're just always the best, right? That's just not always, but they're usually always the best, right? Like I would say 90% of the time they're much better, right? So I genuinely feel like this is a misunderstanding of the idea that, listen, this is still an Eastern game, right? It's still a Japanese game, and I guarantee you the Japanese voiceovers are a million times better than the actual English voiceovers. I would guarantee it, right? So people saying, "Hey, listen to the Japanese voiceover," doesn't necessarily mean that they're doing it out of transphobia or whatever. It's a common practice for Eastern games, or it's a common practice for Eastern content in general, right? Like when I was playing what the fuck the game was, when I was playing Code Vein, right? I was playing Code Vein. I didn't listen to the English fucking voiceover. I listened to the Japanese voiceover. Why would I listen to the English voiceover? Right? It's terrible. I gave it a shot and I was like, what is this? This is terrible. And then I put the Japanese one and I was like, oh, nice. Much better. So again, none of this has to do with transphobia. This is someone reaching who either doesn't understand Eastern content or is purposefully misrepresenting what they know about it, right? But let's continue reading. I want to see some of the reviews here. A major topic of contention across Steam reviews and discussion is Wuk Lamat. I'm going to start saying that now. Wuk Lamat, the Hrothgar princess, we're helping as she makes her claim for the throne. She's essentially the main character of the DLC, and our job is to hold her hand throughout the entire adventure. But pushing players to the backseat has proven controversial. Well, okay, so again, they're trying to set up for the next 10 years. That's number one. And number two, yeah, of course it's going to be controversial when you spent the last whatever it was 8 to 10 years being the focal point, the warrior of light, right? Like you're the focal point of the story. So of course, there's going to be people out there that are going to be a little upset that they're no longer the focal point of the story. But that's for right now, right? Like the expansion just came out. Everybody knows that the fucking patches are going to release more story content. That eventually you might see, more things down the line. But yeah, you took a little bit of a backseat right now. I just think it's a little bit ridiculous to complain about that, right? Like I keep saying that the world can't be ending every single patch. And there's some people that want that. There's some people that want the world ending every single patch. And I'm like, I can't keep up.